Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome content.
Hello everybody and welcome. For the many of you probably not wondering where I was, there will be a video on that shortly, if not by the time you are watching this video. However, the real thing we've come here to discuss today is a rage video of how Anakin does not need a nerf. Yes, you heard me, does not. So after seeing the news about Benwalk and them talking about how Anakin's balance update, quote unquote, in other words, nerf, is being passed through QA right now, I thought I would go into the reasons on why this is a terrible idea and why this would not happen under any other developer. It's actually pretty disappointing. But anyway, let's just straight into it. I'm just going to say first off, the biggest thing everyone's complaining about, Heroic Might, which for those of you who don't know, is a move that basically Anakin just charges up, and any damage he pretty much takes, he unleashes back at in a surrounding area. First off, that move, and I am just going to say it, and if you feel offended, I'm probably talking about you. No regrets. But this move, if you die to this, it is either your fault because you don't know how to play the game, or two, it's your teammate's fault who also does not know how to play the game. Either way, this move should never, ever, ever do anything to you. It is actually a pretty useless move. Its base damage is extremely low, and the only reason it would get any higher is if your teammates or you are mindlessly smashing the attack button on Anakin while he is using it. In other words, you know how the mechanic works. You know that he unleashes damage that is dealt to him. Therefore, why are you dealing damage to him? Secondly, if you do want to deal damage to him and still proceed down the caveman route, if you have a lightsaber, all you have to do is block this move. It is blockable. So there, I don't understand, period, how anyone can complain about this move, because it is pretty fair. Secondly, Passionate Strike, which is a guard break, which I think is actually perfectly fine and something that is much needed in the game. I've actually thought a while ago that Battlefront should have always had a kind of like For Honor thing, how you can guard break. Battlefront should have always had some type of disarming kick or something like they do in the movies and stuff, and it wouldn't be unrealistic where you basically break block. But anyway, this move is very easily dodgeable. I get hit by it very rarely when I'm playing against Anakin, and usually the only times where he can hit me with it is when he links it with his pull move, which honestly is probably how it should go. But if you get hit by this just like off guard, it probably means one, you're blocking too much, two, you don't know how to dodge. So learn to dodge. And so that kind of leaves us with only two moves that he actually has, his pull and his retribution. One, retribution has to be charged up, so it's not a constant move. Pull, that's a pretty fair move. Kylo Ren does it too. And it's not just the abilities that make my case about this either. His abilities are honestly not that good. So what else is making him strong? First off, he has bugs, and this is the part where I say this is completely on the developer, because one, a developer would never sit there and nerf something that's basically only powerful because of bugs. So let's get into which bugs I've personally noticed, and both of these are from the perspective of playing as Anakin and also playing against him. So sometimes I've noticed, like Obi-Wan has the glitch where he force pushes and gets his damage reduction. I have noticed that Anakin sometimes gets a longer damage reduction after Heroic Might is already in used. And that's a big one because it kind of makes Anakin just seem a lot tougher than he is, because he's getting 80% damage reduction occasionally after he uses that move. I don't think it's as often as Obi-Wan, but I have noticed it because I've gotten hit after I've used Heroic Might, and I've gotten hit by like full Boba rocket barrages or just gotten slammed by combos of lightsabers, and I have barely taken any damage from that. And I've noticed, oh, it's the same glitch as Obi-Wan has right now. So first off, that's one. Second off, I've also noticed pulls and other force powers damage him sometimes. Like if Kylo Ren pulls him or Dooku's lightning, they'll damage him, but sometimes he does not do the proper crowd control response. And what I mean by that is if Dooku hits him with lightning, Anakin can still keep going and hit Dooku while he's still doing it, rather than Anakin falling backwards or falling down or whatever. Same with Kylo Ren's pull or like Darth Maul's throw choke. I've went through all 3 of those. Actually, I've gotten pulled by Kylo and it didn't do anything to me. It just damaged, and I wasn't blocking for all of these, just FYI. And same with Darth Maul. I jumped at Maul, he threw me, and by all means I was in the air. I should have gotten thrown. It did the damage, but I landed safely right next to him and then proceeded to hit him. So that's obviously a huge issue, and again, just makes Anakin kind of seem like he can be super aggressive, especially when mixed with, again, the defense buff. And then physically, he's the strongest. So right now, as most people have noticed, lightsaber combat is absolute garbage, and they have yet to fix it for the last month. It happened after the Count Dooku update. So you've never even got to see Dooku really like be able to play, because right now the way it is like when you dodge and stuff, sometimes the lightsabers pull you back into it, and it's like you didn't dodge. It's kind of like a stutter lag or something, but it's not. It's people have been calling it tractor beaming, because basically you'll just dodge or move away, but then you'll keep getting pulled back into someone's lightsaber combo instead of properly dodging the attack. So you kind of have to plan your stuff early for the past month or so, and this is still going on. And basically what that means for Anakin is he's the strongest damage wise for lightsaber hits, and because you keep getting pulled back into him, it seems like you just fucking die instantly from him, although you really shouldn't be. Because if this was not happening, you'd easily be able to dodge around Anakin and fight him normally. But because you can't, a lot of times you kind of just get hit, and because he only needs like 3 or 4 hits, it just kind of seems like Anakin's the OP one. Whereas even though this glitch happens with Dooku and other characters, you can manage to get away after a certain, like after dodging so many times. Sometimes the glitch just won't happen, and you'll actually dodge correctly, and it'll work out, and you'll still lose a lot of health, and you'll still be like, shit, dude, this glitch sucks because I'm getting hurt. But with Anakin, it's not like, shit, I'm getting hurt. It's like, shit, I died because I can't get away because of this glitch. And it just makes it seem like Anakin is too strong because he can take you out that fast, even though if you were able to properly dodge, most likely you wouldn't be dying to Anakin if you're a good player. And a lot of this, by the way, is founded on you being a good player. I mean, honestly, most of the people that are going to complain are people that suck. And this is the part where I'm going to get into the developer aspect is, honestly, you look at any MOBA or any other ability-based game where you're playing a leader with multiple abilities, guess what? A lot of them have different strategies you have to rotate around. Look at any MOBA, League of Legends, Smite, any of those. Everybody cries about certain, I can't beat him, and then you see other people just easily beating him. And that's the thing, is they don't look at the casual people that are like, oh crap, I can't beat him, so he's OP, please nerf. They don't look at that. Other developers look at actually like the pro players or the really good players, and they're like, okay, can they beat him? Yes, they can. Okay, he doesn't need a nerf. These people just need to get better. And Battlefront's not doing that. They're looking at the casual player who probably dies all the time against just fucking Luke or like any other hero in the game, and they're looking at them and because they're complaining because they're dying faster than normal, not even just because they aren't dying at all, just like they're just not good at the game. But they need to look at people who are good at the game and then make the changes based on that, because in my experience and from some people I've noticed on Twitter is, honestly, Anakin really only works good if you are really a bad player. Like, it's very hard to say this, and it's like you can't even figure out a way to phrase it better. You really just are a bad player if Anakin beats you this bad to where you're like, please nerf. Yes, if he gets a few good hits on you, yeah, you're gonna die, but that's fair, because that's all Anakin honestly has, is the fact that he's strong. That's literally it. And if you were a good player, you'd be dodging and blocking, and honestly, he shouldn't get a few hits on you like that. Without this tractor beam glitch, Dooku would dodge circles around Anakin and never get touched. Honestly, Dooku would dodge circles around every single lightsaber wielder and never get touched. He's honestly probably the most OP hero, if any of them, because of his dodge, and the dodge is supposed to actually dodge lightsaber strikes, and it just hasn't been since he came out. So nobody's even seen how OP Dooku is supposed to be until the lightsaber stuff gets fixed. But, regarding Anakin, this is kind of the case, is that all the things I just mentioned are making him seem more powerful than he is. But honestly, what developer is going to nerf a character before nerfing the bugs and the aspects that make him powerful? It just kind of seems like there's no oversight on their part the development team, it seems like for them to do that, it seems like they're just pandering to people instead of actually looking at the problems. And that's worrisome as a developer, because as a developer, you should be fixing the problems that surround the character first before talking about nerfs, especially if these problems are specifically affecting this character's power. Because honestly, I can tell you, I prefer Obi-Wan over Anakin. Like, Anakin is super strong, yes, but again, against good players, Obi-Wan has way more utility to kind of like break through, but Anakin does not. I mean, he really doesn't. Like, Anakin can easily get killed just by like Dooku and them. Like, it's happened plenty of times. It's really not hard to kill Anakin just because of the way he plays. I'd much rather have a defensive character, because I can stay alive a lot longer with Obi-Wan than with Anakin. But I don't know, man. That's my opinion on this whole thing about Anakin getting nerfed, is that if this was any other developer, I 100% guarantee Anakin would not be getting nerfed because of the things I just mentioned, the bugs and, his abilities, and the fact that DICE is just kind of pandering. They're not looking at the good players and looking at them and thinking, how are they doing against Anakin? They're just looking at all the Twitter comments as a whole. And let's be honest, with any game there is, the majority of players are going to be casual. The majority of players are not going to be good. That's with any game, any competitive game. The good people are the ones who play it all the time. Like I play it a fair amount of time and I get good at it. And there's a lot of players like that, but the majority of players I play against, like 90% of the players I play against, aren't good. They're average. They don't block, they don't dodge. Like, they're very easy to kill. And then there's the other 10% that are good, and when I have played against them, I've gotten killed as Anakin easily, I feel like. And same thing, like, I've seen them kill Anakins easily when they're on my team. So in all honesty, when you look at it that way, Anakin doesn't need a nerf. Everyone else kind of needs a buff, because what people are asking for right now is to go back to the puddle depth characters that we had back in Battlefront 15. And that's not something I want. I hate it. That was one of my biggest critiques about that game, is Anakin and Dooku and all of these new heroes, they kind of have a role, and they kind of feel more like how they should. They feel like Jedi, they feel like Sith, and they have strategies that you can use. They have very blatant strengths and weaknesses, and Anakin still does have very blatant weaknesses. It's just that bugs are kind of altering what his weaknesses are, and then again, his strengths are kind of reliant upon people being bad at the game, and that is why he's shining so well, is because his main ability that he uses to kill people, it relies on him being surrounded by bad players. So this is just my opinion, is that they should not nerf Anakin until they fix these bugs, and then kind of see not really even feedback. They should honestly just kind of observe a lot of the, there's no ranking system, but they should kind of observe these really good players and kind of see what they're doing, and just be like, okay, well, get good, worse players. Stop doing, dumb stuff. Use the tools given to you with these heroes to beat Anakin and, any others. I can honestly tell you, I've outscored Anakin with Dooku, and, it really is just dependent upon how bad the people are on the enemy team when there's an Anakin. That's really it. I swear, if you have a team of 4 good villains, Anakin would not be powerful at all. Like, he would be second or third on the scoreboard where he should be. I don't know. That's my wholehearted opinion, though, and I'll be making a how to play on him soon. I kind of I've been waiting to do the how to play for Dooku because of the same thing. I kind of want all these bugs fixed, and then the lightsaber combat to be fixed, because that's kind of going to be a really big thing into how the how to play works. So if they're overhauling all of that, I haven't wanted to really put out any how to plays because of that. I mean, I could, and then I could make another one, but that just seems pointless, and I'm not going to do that to you guys, because that's a waste of 2 videos, and a lot of people do that shit just to monetize it, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and hopefully I'm back. Hopefully nothing else bad happens to me as far as to prevent me from making at least 1 video a week anyway. And let me know what you think of Anakin as a whole. And don't forget, I'm on Twitter. I'm actually very active on Twitter. As far as Battlefront community goes, I'm always commenting and criticizing or praising, whatever it deserves, and I'm always on there, very active, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.